Hello. So, thanks. Well, we started Jamuary yesterday on the 1st of January, and I did a little jam, and just for my own records partly, and just in case anyone was interested, thought I'd quickly whiz through it tonight about what I was doing. Yeah, to see if any of that is of any interest. Yeah, so it was all done internally on Modular, this one, and so all the sounds were from that, and started mainly with some sounds coming out of the Wogglebug, actually using the audio outputs from the wired Wogglebug. So let's have a look at that. Yeah, so this is a Make Noise module, and it's pretty confusing in a lot of ways, and there's all sorts of things, but I do sometimes use the audio outputs, and I used it on this. This is what they're doing. So just turn that down a bit so I can hear. Yeah, so what they're doing, just turn this one down, it might be a bit loud. So what they're doing is, the first sound is coming from the ring modulator output, and it's literally just, so there's a clock that's pulsing away that's actually from a cycling output of maths. What I did there was I turned down, it's a balance control here between an external input, which you can put an external CV in. So if I put an external CV, I've just got an actual, this has just got a 0 to 5 volt signal that I'm controlling, and if I put that in, it should influence. So it's making it go up. Yeah, so that's actually controlling the oscillators and the Wogglebug with an external CV. I've just got, yeah, like I say, I can control it with that knob. I had it just set on like its own internal random sample, so it's a random source, like a random sample and hold, and then there's a like ring modulated between the two oscillators, and then I'm using a grids. I'm using the grids in a Euclidean mode to trigger the envelopes, which are Quadro envelopes, and they are opening the thing. So that's one, and then I've got a second sound. And they're just going into this VCA so I can mix between the two. I'm just using that like a little mixer. Oh, hang on, you can't see that because I'm up here now. Forgetting that. Yeah, so I'm using this. These are just Veils is just using it as a little mixer in this case. Yeah. So what I mentioned before is Quadro envelopes. So Quadro envelopes are actually being influenced or being CV controlled by what's going on here. Okay, so I'll show you the top. Up here, I've got a dope for a dual sample and hold, and then I've got a sequential switch, and the output from the Wogglebug, the stepped output from the Wogglebug, is going into the input on the sample and hold, and that's getting the sample and hold and the sequential switch are both getting triggered by the clock that's clocking the Wogglebug, which is actually clocked by the cycling maths, as you can tell just when I speed it up. So it's kind of old school style in that the cycling functions clocking the whole thing. Okay, so back to that bit. So yeah, so there, the input to the sequential switch, like I say, when this holds, the sample and hold holds the value, so it stays constant. That's coming out of the Wogglebug, and then they get sent to the CV-ins on the Quadra expander that adjusts the attack and decay of the envelopes, and that's just got a bit of. I had a bit of reverb on it, so that's what you get. That's the whole sort of sound. On top of that, it was a bit slower than that. See what I mean? I just adjusted the cycle. Kick drum. Kick drum is my old favourite technique for the kick drum, which I use a lot. Is I've got this. So all I'm doing there is I'm just putting some envelopes into it. But the sound of the kick is actually it's just a one channel of a quad low pass gate, Thomas White quad low pass gate, resonant quad low pass gate, and it is just basically a resonant filter that's been hit by an envelope, but it's quite chunky and get some really good sounds. And then I've got two inputs. I've actually got the cycling maths LFO, the cycling maths function is opening it. Can open it. See. But that's not the main bit. I've actually got a Quadra envelope that's exponential and almost like no decay on it at all, and that just gives it that nice punch at the front. Just opens it enough, and then if I add in the maths envelope, I get a really nice fat thing. Actually, I forgot. I'm slightly cheating because that is also then going into this, which is the music thing modular drive, mini drive thing. So we could get really nasty with that. It's like a mini Moog overdrive thing. A bit of that, just added some chunk. So I actually had it running like that most of the time. So that's, we've got kick and we've got the two Wogglebug bits. The next bit, got to have any old techno, is some hi-hats. Obviously you can hear this, they're not quite straight ahead hi-hats, and they're actually slightly different to what I used in the Jam. So, so I keep muting things in and out. I've got this mixer here, and I've got the so I've got 5 channels going on in the mixer, and they're actually coming in to Expert Sleepers ES6 and ES3. Well, they're coming into the ES6. So I've got 6 input channels that go into this desk. And actually go. Sorry. So yeah, I've got these 5 channels I'm using. So I've got. So the hats, obviously they're not quite straight ahead hats, those. What they're actually is they're actually noise from the E370. So I've got one channel of the E370. It's on clocked noise. And I didn't have it set like this last night. I slightly changed it, but I think it sounds better. So what's doing that then? So I've actually got the Rene is sending CV out on channel Y, and that's going. No, that's the gate. The CV is going into channel 3. Oh, that's right. The CV from the Y channel of Rene is going into the fall on the maths. You can hear that's an opening up the envelope, changing the noise. Now with the noise, with the noise on the E370, if I change the pitch, I didn't really do any of that, but I like noise as a percussion sort of source. And is that just doing that? Yeah, I think that's it. That's just straight out of yeah, actually that's what's happening. Yeah, the noise is going into another channel of the 4-channel low pass gate, which is in filter mode, so it's got a bit of resonance on it. That's it without any resonance. I just prefer it all a bit punchy like that. Okay, so that's those two bits. So yeah, so that's those two bits. So what we've got is kick, hats, percussion-y bits. Then there is a bass. Oops, bass line. Yeah, so the bass. This is a bit of an odd one. I've never tried this before. Again, this is basically getting sequenced by the Wogglebug, but it kind of isn't completely sequenced by it. It's the, if you can see on here, it's the CV out from the stepped output on the Wired Wogglebug. It's going into the XCV input on Rene on the red channel. So on the X channel, if you go onto the function page, I've got this set so that it's set to the CV add, which is basically taking what CV is going into the wide channel, and essentially it's just putting it through the quantizer. And if I did have any sequencing going on here, it's not even clocked, so it's not going anywhere, as you can see. It would add it onto that. So, but so it's just basically it's quantizing what's coming out of the Wogglebug. So it's kind of random, but it sounds pretty convincing. And then the other thing that I've done with that a bit is I've got it going into a precision adder. So I've got the output from the Rene, the quantized output. So if I turn that switch off, I get nothing. And I've actually got using it to switch to an octave switch as well. Now the other thing that I've got is, I use this quite a lot, the top channel on the precision adder it's got an attenuator on the input, or it just produces its own voltage. So in this case, I've got it set so that I can effectively use it to do a little transpose. So there you can go. And I can transpose it down as well. I think it's about a third. I don't really know music stuff. Anyway, so that's that. One more thing. I've got a sample that's playing out of the squid sample. Now that's getting sequenced effectively. That's getting triggered by one channel on the Tempi. So I've got one channel on the Tempi, this one here, this bottom left one, that's triggering the sample. Now the channel next to it, I've actually got I've got that one that's less frequent. That's actually going to the mixing on the Echophon. So it's working like a VCA, so it only opens it sometimes. And then that Echophon has got some CV controlling the speed from the woggle out of the Wogglebug. So that's why it's going a bit weird all the time. Yeah, so like I say, that second one there that's less frequent is controlling the VCA. Open. Closed. Anyway, so that's all the bits, and you get this all together. Oh, and there's some effects. Okay, so I'll just start a little jam again. I think how I did it last night, I just had this. The control, I'm just sort of muting up all that stuff. Open up the channels on the desk. And I've got my Triatt here which controls the thing, so. Bring the kick drum in. Just turn that thing that I put on. So I'm now controlling the Wogglebug. With this knob. Change. Okay, well, same patch, but probably slightly different, and I think that'll do for the second day, won't it? January day 2. New patch tomorrow.